The unexpected mark. The space station's central market was always loud, full of voices from 100 species, the smell of strange foods, and the sharp light of neon signs. Captain Daniel Holt walked through the crowd, his eyes scanning the stalls for ship parts. He was used to the noise, the chaos, but not what was about to happen. He had just stopped at a vendor selling coolant modules when he noticed her. She was tall, her skin covered in soft, golden fur that caught the station's light. Her ears twitched at every sound, and her eyes slit-pupiled and bright like molten gold locked on him. Daniel didn't know her, but the way she walked toward him made the crowd part without a word. Daniel's hand drifted to his sidearm. This was not normal. The alien woman didn't stop. She stepped close, so close he could feel the warmth of her breath. Then, without asking, she leaned in and rubbed the side of her cheek against his neck, her fur brushing his skin. The market went silent. Every alien nearby froze. A few even turned and left, whispering in hushed voices. Daniel blinked. What the hell? Before he could finish, she pulled back just enough to meet his eyes. Her gaze was fierce, almost satisfied. You are safe now, she said, her voice low but sharp. And then she walked away, her long tail swaying behind her. Daniel touched his neck, confused. The warmth from her cheek was still there, along with a faint scent, wild, sharp, and somehow dangerous. A voice came from behind him. Oh, you're in trouble now, human. He turned to see Kes, a wiry alien mechanic he'd traded with before. Kes shook his head, half amused, half worried. What are you talking about? Daniel asked. Kes tilted his head toward the woman disappearing into the crowd. She just marked you, claimed you. That scent will stay on you for days. Any female of her kind will smell it instantly. They'll know you belong to her. Daniel frowned. Belong? No, I don't belong to anyone. Kes gave a dry laugh. Tell her that. See how long you live. Before Daniel could ask more, a group of alien males gave him a long, calculating look. Then they turned away without a word, melting into the crowd. The market's chatter slowly returned, but Daniel could feel eyes on him. He caught one last glimpse of her. She had stopped at another stall, speaking to a vendor, but her gaze flicked toward him watchful, as if daring anyone to come closer. Daniel didn't like this. Not one bit. Later that day, in a quieter corridor of the station's docking section, Daniel saw her again. She was leaning against the wall near his ship, arms crossed, tail curling lazily. You, Daniel said, walking toward her. What? Was that in the market? Why did you touch me like that? She didn't move. To keep you alive. Daniel narrowed his eyes. I don't need. Yes, you do, she cut in, her voice cold. This station is crawling with hunters. They take what they want. They see you as prey. But now, she stepped closer, her golden eyes gleaming. Now they see you as mine. Daniel felt a mix of anger and unease. I'm not part of whatever game you're playing. This is no game, she said simply. You carry my scent. That is my warning to all others. Touch you, and they fight me. Her words made his skin crawl. I didn't ask for this. She tilted her head, studying him like a puzzle. You didn't have to. I chose, and that choice means you live. Daniel's jaw tightened. Why me? A faint smile touched her lips. Because you stopped that fight in Dock 6 last week. You don't remember, but I do. Daniel's mind flicked back. He had shoved two drunk mercenaries apart before they could start stabbing each other. He hadn't noticed her there, before he could reply. Movement caught his eye. At the far end of the corridor, a pair of shadowy figures stepped back into the darkness, watching, waiting. The woman glanced past him and gave a quiet growl, low and deep. The figures retreated. She looked back at Daniel. You see? Already. They test the claim. They will keep testing it. But they will fail. Daniel stared at her, unsure if he had just been saved or dragged into something far worse. "What's your name?" he asked finally. "Saria," she said, turning away. "And you, Daniel Holt, are mine now." She walked off without another word, her tail curling like a question mark, leaving him standing there with a strange scent on his skin, the echo of silent stares in the market, and the feeling that his life had just shifted into dangerous territory. Asterisk, the alien's warning Daniel. Didn't sleep well that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt the warmth of her cheek on his neck, smelled that strange wild scent, and saw the way the other aliens had stepped back from him in the market. The next morning, he found her waiting. Saria stood near the entrance to the market again, arms crossed, golden eyes tracking every movement in the crowd. She looked like she had been there for hours, watching. Waiting. Daniel walked up to her, keeping his voice low. "You've been following me." She didn't deny it. "You are marked. I must make sure the others respect it." Daniel folded his arms. "I told you, I didn't ask for this. You don't get to just claim me." Her ears twitched at his tone, but her voice stayed calm. "Do you know what happens to unclaimed humans on this station? The hunters take them. They sell them. Sometimes they never leave." Daniel frowned. "I can take care of myself." Saria stepped closer, close enough for him to see the faint scars along her jawline. Even warriors fall to numbers. "You carry my scent now, Daniel Holt. That means every female knows you are mine, and every male knows they must go through me to reach you." He stared at her. "And if I wash it off?" Her tail lashed once, slow and deliberate. "You could. But the moment you do, I will not stand between you and them." Daniel searched, her eyes trying to read her. Was this protection or control? Before he could answer, she suddenly moved. In one smooth motion, she pulled him back into the shadow of a pillar. Two alien males had entered the market, tall, broad, their armor dented and scratched from battle. Their eyes scanned the crowd like predators searching for prey. When they spotted Daniel, their pace slowed. Saria didn't speak. She simply stood in full view, her golden gaze locked on them, the scent mark unmistakable even from a distance. The males hesitated. One snarled something in their native tongue. The other shook his head and turned away. They disappeared into the crowd. Daniel exhaled slowly. "You're telling me? That's why you did this?" She finally looked at him. "You think I care for the others?" "No, I care for my territory." "And now, Daniel Holt, you are in it." He almost laughed. "So, I'm part of your territory?" "Yes," she said simply, "but you are also under my oath. And my oath is not broken. Ever." Her tone left no room for argument. Daniel wanted to walk away, to tell her to leave him alone. But deep down, he knew the truth. Those two males had looked at him like a target. Without her standing there, things might have ended very differently. Still, he had questions. Too many questions. "All right," he said finally. "Then tell me, why me?" "You could have claimed anyone." For the first time, her eyes softened, just a little. "Because I saw you stand between two armed killers. For a stranger you didn't know, that is not common in this galaxy. You do not know it, but you saved me that day." Before he could answer, a shadow fell across the market. A massive figure stepped into the light, another of her kind, but this one carried herself differently. The crowd's noise dimmed again. Saria's voice dropped to a growl. "The rival has arrived." The rival's interest. The rival was taller than Saria, broad-shouldered, with dark fur that shimmered like steel under the station lights. Her eyes were cold, her steps slow and deliberate, like a predator sizing up prey. Daniel felt the shift. In the crowd, Conversations died, footsteps slowed. Everyone knew what this meant. The newcomer stopped a few meters away, her gaze sweeping over Daniel like he was something on a display table. Her lips curled, not a smile, more like the flash of teeth before a bite. Saria stepped forward, her tail low, her shoulders tense. "Velara," she said, her voice flat. Velara's golden-ringed eyes flicked between them. "So it's true. You've marked a human." She circled to Daniel's side, moving slow enough for every step to feel like a threat. "Why him?" "He's soft, untrained, a poor prize." Daniel tensed, but Saria didn't move from her spot. "He is mine," Saria said, her voice low but sharp. "That is all you need to know." Velara gave a small, mocking laugh. "Yours? We will see." She moved closer to Daniel, close enough that he could see the faint, claw-shaped scars on her hands. Her scent was different, harsher, metallic, and she leaned forward slightly, inhaling as if testing him. Saria's growl cut through the market. It was deep, rumbling, animal. The crowd shifted back. Even Daniel felt the hairs rise on his arms. Velara straightened, her smile gone. "You've grown bold, exile. Perhaps you've forgotten what happens to those who cannot defend their claim. Try." Saria said, stepping in front of Daniel. Her hand rested lightly on the hilt of the blade, strapped to her thigh. For a long moment, Velara stared at them both. Then she gave a single, slow blink. Not today, but soon. She turned and walked away, her tail flicking like a whip. The crowd slowly started to move again, but the tension lingered like smoke. Daniel let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. What was that? Saria's eyes stayed on Velara's retreating back. "A test, the first of many." Daniel glanced at her. "And if you lose one of these tests..." Saria finally looked at him, her gaze steady. "Then you will no longer be mine. And whoever wins will decide what to do with you." The thought sent a chill down his spine. Asterisk, the truth behind the claim, the market incident, stayed in Daniel's mind all day. Even hours later, as he sat in a quiet corner of the station's food lounge, he could still feel Velara's eyes on him, cold, measuring, dangerous. He had barely touched his meal when Saria appeared again. She moved with the same fluid grace as always, but there was something sharper in her posture now. She slid into the seat across from him. Without asking, Daniel looked up. "You follow me everywhere now?" Her ears twitched. "I protect my claim." He leaned back in his chair. "I'm starting to think this is less about protection and more about control." Saria's golden eyes didn't blink. "Control?" "No. This is about survival, yours and mine." Daniel folded his arms. "Then explain it." "Because right now, I'm walking around with some kind of alien perfume on my neck, and I'm apparently a prize in some interspecies contest I didn't sign up for." For a long moment, she didn't answer. She just studied him like she was deciding whether he was ready to hear it. Then she spoke, her voice quieter. "I am not just a warrior," she said. "I was born into the Kaishan High Claw a ruling bloodline. My father was clan leader. My brother wanted the throne." Daniel frowned. "Let me guess, it didn't end well?" Her gaze turned distant. "He challenged me in the right of fangs. I won. But in victory, I refused to kill him. That mercy was seen as weakness. He spread lies, turned my own blood against me. I was cast out, exiled from my world." She shifted slightly, her claws tapping against the table. "Exiles have no protection in our law. Any rival can take my territory, or my life. And when I claim someone, they become part of that territory." Daniel stared at her. "So claiming me wasn't just about scaring off creeps. It's politics." Her eyes met his. "It is also debt. You saved me once, though you did not know it." He blinked. "That fight in Dock 6? She nodded. One of those mercenaries was sent to kill me. Your interference gave me the moment to escape. For that, my honor demands I protect you until the debt is paid. Daniel ran a hand over his face. And when is that? Her answer was immediate. When you no longer need me. Before he could reply, the station's overhead lights flickered, just once, but enough to make the hair on his arms rise. Saria's ears twitched sharply. Daniel noticed her sudden alertness. What is it? She stood, scanning the room. They are moving sooner than I thought. The hunt begins. The flicker of the station lights was no accident. Saria's eyes narrowed, her ears turning slightly, listening for sounds Daniel couldn't hear. Stay close to me, she said. Daniel followed her out of the lounge, his pulse picking up. The crowd was thinner in the side corridors, and the air felt heavier, as if the station itself was holding its breath. They were halfway to the docking section when the first shadow moved. 3 figures stepped out from behind a maintenance. Pillar armor scratched, weapons hidden under tattered cloaks. Their eyes locked on Daniel like hunters spotting fresh prey. Saria shifted instantly, stepping between him and them. Rivals, she murmured without looking back. The middle one smiled, showing sharp teeth. Exile, your mark is a challenge. We have come to take it. Daniel tensed. Take it? I'm not. A sudden metallic clang echoed from behind them. Daniel turned to see 2 more figures blocking the corridor from the other side. They were surrounded. The lead rival stepped closer. We take the human, and your claim is broken. You lose more than pride. Saria's voice was cold steel. You want him? Then bleed for him. The corridor exploded into movement. Saria was too fast for Daniel's eyes to follow. Her claws flashed, catching the dim light as she spun, kicked, and drove one attacker into the wall. The others lunged, but she moved like a predator in perfect control, slashing one's weapon hand, spinning low to sweep another's legs. Daniel pressed against the wall, heart hammering. He'd seen soldiers fight before, but never like this. She wasn't just defending herself. Every move she made sent a clear message. He is mine. One rival tried to rush past her toward Daniel. She caught him mid-stride, slammed him against the wall, and hissed something in her language. The sound was primal, deep, and filled with promise of pain. The rival froze, then bolted down the corridor. The others followed, retreating fast. Within seconds, the corridor was empty again, except for Saria, breathing hard but still standing tall. Daniel swallowed. You could have killed them. Her golden eyes softened. Just a fraction. Killing them now would bring more. Let them carry the message instead. He stared at her, finally understanding just how far she was willing to go to keep him safe. But the thought brought no comfort, because if this was only the first hunt, what would the next one look like? Saria turned to him. Velara will not wait much longer. She will want to end this in the old way. Daniel frowned. The old way? Her answer was quiet. A duel. To the death. Asterisk the final stand. The challenge came the next day. A public message flickered across the station's central display, a formal duel notice, written in the curling script of the Kaishan. Daniel didn't understand the language, but he didn't need to. The image of Velara and the crossed blade. Symbol said enough. Saria found him in his ship's hangar. She was dressed differently, now armor plates strapped over her shoulders, dark leather along her arms, and a thin curved blade hanging at her hip. It's time, she said simply. Daniel stepped toward her. You don't have to do this. Her golden eyes didn't waver. Yes, I do. If I walk away, they will come for you again and again. If I win, no one will dare touch you. The duel was held in the station's combat ring, a circular arena, surrounded by a high metal fence, with a crowd pressing in from all sides. The air was thick with the smell of oil and the low hum of energy shields. Velara was already there, her armor gleaming, claws tipped with metal. She smiled when she saw Daniel watching from the edge. "Enjoy your last moments with her?" "Human," Velara called, her voice carrying over the noise. The referee, a tall insectoid with silver eyes, stepped forward and raised a claw. "This fight ends when one yields or dies." The signal flashed. Velara attacked first, moving like a shadow. Her blade whistled through the air, forcing Saria to block and twist away. The crowd roared. Sparks flew as their weapons clashed again and again, the sound echoing through the arena. Velara was stronger, each strike heavy enough to jar Saria's arms. But Saria was faster, slipping to the side, landing quick cuts, drawing thin lines of blood on Velara's armor. Daniel gripped the fence, his heart pounding. Every time Velara's blade came close, he could see how easily it could end this fight and end Saria. Velara fainted left, then swept her tail low, knocking Saria off balance. The crowd gasped as Saria stumbled, her blade clattering to the floor. Velara stepped in for the killing blow, but Saria dropped low, catching Velara's wrist with one clawed hand and driving her other fist into the rival's jaw. The hit cracked like bones snapping. Velara staggered back, dazed, and Saria reclaimed her blade in one smooth motion. The next strike was final, swift, precise, stopping an inch from Velara's throat. The crowd fell silent. Velara's eyes burned with hate, but she lowered her weapon. "The claim is yours." The referee raised Saria's hand. The arena erupted with cheers. Saria turned, walking straight to Daniel. She stopped close, her voice low so only he could hear. "Now the galaxy knows," she said. "You are mine, and I am yours." Daniel searched her eyes, expecting arrogance or pride, but saw something else. Relief, and maybe something deeper. For the first time, he didn't think about the danger, the politics, or the scent mark on his neck. He just nodded. "Then, I guess we both won." She gave a small, almost human smile. And together, they walked out of the arena, the crowd still roaring behind them. Asterisk.